The next piece of equipment we're going to talk about is the fitness sandbag. This one goes up to 60 pounds. They have these little tassels that you can use to tighten up so the weight isn't loose and moving around after you adjust it. And you can adjust it all the way down to 10 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever you need it for. One thing I'll say is when you put the weight in here, lay each sandbag in the center right on top, because you don't want one side heavier than the other. Then once you zip it up, I advise pick it up and get that sand all evened out. And then tighten these tassels down. Learn how to tie a half hitch. It's a good knot in life. And all that is, you already know how to tie it, is you run it underneath, tie it on itself, and just kind of put one half hitch in there, nice and tight. That way it'll keep it from these things from loosening up on you. Okay, so it's adjustable. This is a great addition to the TRX suspension trainer. I would say this should be number 2 and a good kettlebell product number 3 that you purchase. Rule of thumb when you're buying dumbbells or kettlebells real quick. Dumbbells are usually average $1 per pound until you get into the fancy hexagon ones. Then they get to be like $1.50, $2 per pound. Kettlebells on the average, regular ones are about $2 per pound and $3 for some of the fancier ones per pound. So if you buy a 10-pound dumbbell, you'll pay about $10. If you buy a 10-pound kettlebell, you'll pay about $20. For a good 10-pound dumbbell, you'll pay about $15 to $20. And for a good 10-pound kettlebell, you'll pay about $20 to $30. So, and good being, what is good? If it's heavy and it's shaped properly, start out with the low-end one. Buy the nice stuff later on after you have a full home gym. But okay, so suspension trainer, then fitness sandbag. What can I do with this? Pretty much everything. I can do plyometrics and calisthenics and weight resistance training, kind of all in one. With this burpee clean and roll, I can simplify this without the push-up. I can just do the thruster, or I can just do the clean and roll. Right? But for an exercise like that, if you notice when I come up, when I go down and up in a proper deadlift motion. I'm going to teach the deadlift at some point by itself. The deadlift, to me, is everything to all movements. Whether it's a kettlebell swing, whether it's some type of squat thrust, to clean and roll, whatever. You have to learn how to maintain proper thoracic extension throughout your spine and not hinge over. Hips go first, back stays straight, knees behind the toes, right? Proper width apart, the right amount of outward pressure with your knees, but not bowing out your legs, all these things, right? Got to maintain that during any type of movement. Right? Whatever it is. That thoracic extension. So understand that concept before you start working with the sandbag. When you get the sandbag, you can start training on it. Again, this particular fitness sandbag was only about $60, $70. But you can do a whole lot with it. Okay, so you saw the burpee clean and roll. You have the obvious one, which is the all the leg stuff that you can do with it. So I can do forward lunge, rear lunge, side to side laterals, very important. A lot of people do fitness for legs going backwards and forwards, but that glute minor, if you don't develop that over your life and you skip it throughout all your fitness, that is where your knee pain, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, everything, actually, believe it or not, is connected to that glute minor muscle. And it's so overlooked, right? That's another video I have in one of the playlists for fitness. So side to side laterals, again, maintaining good thoracic extension, knees behind the toes, back staying straight, not straining my neck. Weight is on my shoulders, not my neck. Again, rear lunge with good thoracic extension, forward lunge with good thoracic extension. Some of the core stuff that you can do. Side to side drag with a plank, up, down. I have a whole workout called the Crixus in the playlist. It is 10 exercises with this sandbag that you can do and how to do them. All right. Phenomenal tool. You can do offset. You can do deadlifts. I prefer just grab the bag for these. Curls. Overhead shoulder presses. Sky's the limit. When you can also look online, you can buy posters that have all the hundreds of different exercises for both the sandbag and the suspension trainer. And then the next piece is getting that kettlebell that's a little bit more controlled weight so that you can do exercises that are more precise. And you can do cleans and other movements a lot easier than you would be able to with this sandbag. But as you can tell, granted, I have pre-workout in my system. I don't advise messing with pre-workout until you've kind of understand the side effects. The biggest one being is heat exhaustion, right? So if you take pre-workout, especially some of the more insane ones that are out there on the market, like I take, you have to be really aware of drinking water and what you're going to be doing that day. If I'm going to be in full camo with body armor, Kevlar, and 103-degree heat, carrying rifle ammunition, everything else, and my body's heavily weighted down in high heat, and I'm going to be going on limited sleep with minimum food, probably not a good day to take that stuff because I'm going to dehydrate 5 times as fast and be at a high risk for heat casualty, things of that nature. So you're work on a construction site and you're out with the sun beating down on you all day mixing cement, right? You got to be cognizant that if you are going to take that pre-workout with your fitness, that you have that jug of water, and warm water absorbs into the body better, and ice water can be problematic. But you also have to have the common sense to be like, well, I'm going to be out in 100-degree heat. That ice is going to melt. It'll keep my water cool. And if you see where I'm going with that. So just educate yourself, learn about how to cycle on, cycle off of that stuff. I use it. It's a great motivator. It's my morning coffee every single day. I've also been at it for years. So my body has a tolerance to the caffeine, a tolerance to the other goodies that are in my pre-workouts. And I cycle on to more mild stuff like Jocko Go pre-workout. It has some beta alanine in there still, but it's It's pretty clean. Not a lot of additives, just basically the bare minimum, what you look for in a pre-workout, but it still gets you going. And then when I'm angry and pissed off from work and I come home, I grab Psychotic and attack my gym with hatred and rage in my blood. So it all just depends. But at any rate, there are two great multi-tools for fitness that can get you where you, and as you can see too, I can adjust the weight so that I'm getting that cardio up and I'm building that muscle and I'm building that fight endurance and I'm building that fight strength and that core strength. But with those two tools alone, I shouldn't see a whole lot of tendonitis, especially if I'm doing yoga, doing qigong, yi jin jing, right? And getting after those things and maintaining my flexibility, eating right to refuel, and you know, staying away from the McDonald's and the Pepsi and the cola and the beer, and getting closer to the turmeric and the ashwagandha and, you know, greens and all that stuff, right? So on top of my proteins. So get after it. Kill.